Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning with me, Bring It On. Let's enter the Broken Tower and see if we can't find death. Well, it counts as stealing down here, that's interesting. So I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a dungeon, right? Alright, to the basement. So we could have come in here probably before getting the quest. I wonder if we could have found the hidden door by ourselves before the, before acquiring the quest. My controller's vibrating. It even said I discovered a hidden object.
You couldn't leave the prattling of a madman alone, could you? This is my sanctum, trespasser. You couldn't possibly understand the work I'm doing here. I fear I will need to kill you now. Perhaps the process will provide some insights into your unique power.
You saw me take on Baylor. Tell me more about this work.
Don't you see? The physiology of the mortal races is a book we've barely begun to crack. You couldn't possibly understand. I take these young men and women and I open them and I see what truly lives within. Magic is changing and so are those who wield it. I am merely bold enough to look and learn the how and why.
Pretty sure the gnomes are making leaps and bounds as far as like vivisection and anatomy goes. So you know what? I will not let this stand.
How unsurprisingly noble of you. Few possess the intellectual acuity to appreciate my work. Very well. Perhaps I will learn something from your death.
Nah, I didn't get to follow up with my comeback. It's like few possess the endurance and fortitude to withstand my hammer. So unsurprisingly, very easy. So a very short dungeon. Alright, let's go back and talk to Matrim Hawkins. Then we'll finally venture out into Cluracan itself and start exploring the swampy surroundings of Melsenshir.
She's dead, isn't she? The moment she passed, the clouds surrounding my mind seemed to pass. What a wretched woman. Who knows how long she's been here, preying on the weak and injured. Seems I named you well, Scarecrow. I cannot thank you enough for what you've done.
Alright, Melsenshir.
I wish I'd never come to this cursed city. I survived the horror of battle only to find the horrors of the hospital.
Megan Johnson.
A kind soul. She hasn't left the hospital since the siege. I don't think she even sleeps.
Matrim Hawkins.
I do not think that I can return to the Chandlery after what I've seen. Where does one go after they've seen the horror of war?
Back to more war. It's always someone who wants to wage war and willing to pay someone else to wage it for him.
How may I help?
Matrim Hawkins.
Master Hawkins' recovery has been miraculous. and he has been quite a help around here.
Corialia Scathe.
I haven't seen her in quite some time. I hope everything is well. Stay safe.
Yeah, I'm sure everything's fine. Alright, venture forth into Cursewood. Reminds me of a loading screen from Neverwinter.
You! Stop! State your business!
Keep your hands off me, fool. I'm no Tuatha. I must speak with the Siegebreaker.
Alright, I'm gonna speak with this guy first. Captain Dreffin.
You're the one who slew the Baelor. Honor to you, champion. I command the Ariad. We are warrior scouts, the eyes of the Alfar. My men are scouting the Tuatha's retreat, though I fear I may have lost even them to this cursed forest.
Tuatha.
Vile creatures. The sooner we kill them all, the better.
The Ariad.
The men and women of the Ariad are handpicked for possessing a very particular set of skills. We are the eyes of the Alfar forces. It is our responsibility to move among the enemy, to watch and wait, and when necessary, to kill.
Melsenshir.
My men and I are glad to be free of its walls. It is about time the brass decides to unleash us on these Tuatha dogs. Aye. Cluracan's doomed to drown in blood. Mark my words.
General Talera.
Don't care what happened on the wall. Talera was a great general, through and through. She'll always be a hero to the Ariad, and to me.
Captain Dreffin.
I have been leading the Ariad for many seasons now. I may not have the flair that some of our other leaders do, but I get the job done.
Alright, why do you fear they are lost?
They are overdue. My men are never late. They are either where they are supposed to be, or they are dead. In fact, if you are venturing out into the forest, may I prevail upon you for aid?
How can I help?
3 of my men are missing. If you discover any evidence of what befell them within the Cursewood, let me know. Warrior to warrior, I would be in your debt. And if it would sweeten the pot, there'd be gold for you as well.
Cursewood.
It's been called that ever since they laid the foundations of Melsenshir. Even the smallest of plants and critters can kill you out here.
Where could I find your men?
Deep within the Cursewood, most likely. I sent 3 soldiers into the forest to track the movements of the Tuatha. Where that took them is anybody's guess. Farewell.
Hail.
Cleath Arn. Or Cliath Arn.
It's me. You did me a good turn in Rathir, don't you remember? Family arms? No matter. I've been to war, and so have you, I hear. Seems I'm cut out for this sort of thing. They're calling me a hero, if you can believe it.
He's the guy we broke into Arn's Keep, right? Or Arn's something, and got him his family equipment. Family arms.
I still can hardly believe it myself, but there I was, out there, a score of Tuatha fast advancing, but not faster than this staff. Sent up a beacon as I held them off until reinforcements came. Won a medal for that, right enough.
The war.
Used to think it meant sitting in a tower, lobbing a fireball now and then, and dining on hardtack. Out here, it's nothing like that. Nothing at all.
Okay. A Saavedra Will.
Good to be out of the city again. I'm looking forward to taking the fight back to the Tuatha.
Okay. The Ariad.
War is not won by brute force alone. It takes knowledge and planning to defeat the enemy. That is the Ariad's role. Acquiring the knowledge that will carry us to victory, and sometimes eliminating those with similar knowledge on the other side.
A Saavedra Will.
I was asked to join the Ariad after my 3rd battle here. Since then, I've probably spent more time in Cluricon than Melson Shear.
Captain Dreffin.
Drafan runs the Ariad. I've never been much for officers, but he gets things done, and he cares about his men. And women. Goodbye.
You are the one I seek.
Any luck out there? I'll meet you in Melson.
It is a pleasure to meet the Siegebreaker. Especially here, in a land where pleasure has been all too rare. I am Sidon the Outcast, Prince in exile of the House of Sorrows. I'm here to welcome you to our home. I see the hesitation in your eyes. Although I am Fae of the Winter Court, you and I have a common enemy.
Who are you?
I am Sidon the Outcast. Once, I was Prince of the House of Sorrows, but my true duties are to the true Court of Winter. The Winter Fae have been disgraced and despoiled by Gadflo and the Tuatha. With your help, I can end their reign.
I like his armor. Is that a skull motif on his pauldron? Where did you come from?
Clearly,
Where did you
I'm
go?
not Tuatha. I carry a loathing for them that mortals could never understand. I simply approached your lines peacefully and expressed my desire to speak with the Siegebreaker. It seems that even the simplest mortal soldier can recognize an ally against our mutual enemy.
The Tuatha.
Indeed. You accomplished a great feat here. But the Tuatha Deon are far from defeated. Before striking the heart, you must trim the fat and cleave through the bones. If you wish to put an end to Gadflo's reign, meet my brethren and me at Foe's Hearth to the east. We can talk further there.
Winter Court.
We're only a shadow of what we were before Gadflo poisoned our minds. Seems natural for embodiments of decay, doesn't it? But unlike our lighter siblings in the Summer Court, we'll fight to cleanse the Tuatha from our lands, just as any wounded animal would.
Okay, Ventrinio.
No need to be surprised. We know that you seek the Corpse Collector. Secrets are among our specialties. It wasn't so long ago that you were working with him here. But then, that was a lifetime ago for you, wasn't it?
Everybody knows what's going on except for me. Tuatha.
Tuatha have corrupted the very soul of the Unseelie, twisting our people, stealing our noble houses, and driving our true leaders into exile. I've tried to get the Unseelie to unite against them. By the time we realized their threat, it was too late. But I'll not give up.
Summer Court.
When mortals think of Fae, they prefer to think of a Summer Court. And why not? They're radiant and true, even if they are too full of themselves. By all means, pretend all the Fae are like them. You'd never dare go to sleep if you truly understood the rest of us.
Prismere.
Prismere has always grown in our lands, but only with a surge of magic into our world was it anything other than a simple gem.
Cluricon.
Home of my heart, and grave of my troubles. This is where the brave and foolish come to die. And in death, they feed the swift and sly.
House of Vengeance.
The House of Vengeance was a place of fierce honor and stoic determination that made granite seem soft and fickle. But not anymore. When Gadflo rose up, he unleashed their bottled hatred and turned it against the mortals. Now, they're led by a vicious cur, more beast than Fae.
House of Sorrows.
The House of Sorrows is home to the lovelorn, the desperate, and those ravaged by hope. Together, my brethren and I took back what the world had taken from us. Now, the Tuatha have taken our people, our houses, and our self-respect. We grieve at these losses, but we shall take them back by whatever means necessary.
Gadflo.
That little fool used to be nothing more than a capering jester in the Winter Court. that he found the power to rise against the High King and defeat him. It's enough to make you think there's something to his god, Tirnoch.
Faye.
We have walked these lands for countless ages, always playing the same roles, always seeing to the proper cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Now, we face the end of our ways. Not from the mortals, as some had feared, but from our own kind.
Sidon. Or
I am
Sidan.
Sidon the Outcast. Once I was Prince of the House of Sorrows, but my true duties are to my kind. The Winterfell have been disgraced and despoiled by Gadflow and his new god. For House and Heartbreak, I shall end his reign.
Bitter Frost.
We are the remains of the Winterfell. Refugees from the capital of Bale. Outcasts from the houses. And those who escaped Prismere Blades. The Tuatha have taken our court and our birthrights. And for that, we will take their lives to restore a balance once again.
Aelin Shear.
I've heard of her, and I've seen her work. A dead diplomat here, a salvaged peace treaty there, a handful of lies told to protect an innocent. But even as a collector of secrets, there's precious little I know about her. Nothing could be more beautiful than a mystery like her.
Agarth, or Agarth. Agarth.
Yes, I traveled with Agarth back in his prime. But those are stories for another time.
Alright, what's your offer?
I'd rather not talk here. Chloricon is filled with Tuatha spies. Travel to the old ruins at Foe's Hearth. We'll meet you inside and we can talk there. Now be careful.
Alright, sounds good.
These swamps.
You go. Good to see
Indeed,
Sidon
Agar.
still around. It's
I
been a
hear
long
on the
time.
winds that you laid down your sword and drowned yourself in drink when you learned the ways of fate. And yet here you are, sword in hand, again the victor. How is this? Do the winds lie to me?
It's a long tale. It started when I sobered up long enough to go bury a friend of mine in Alistar Tower. Or rather, that's what I had planned to do.
Okay. So him and Sidon were talking while I was talking to him. It's not rude at all. Alright, Sidon.
Old Sidon's a snake, but he's still on our side. Why, I remember when he helped rescue my fiancée from Rassanon, back in my younger days. Of course, she called off the wedding and just mooned over Sidon after all that. He has that effect.
Bitter Frost.
I had wondered what happened to the Winterfell when Gadflow took control. Seems that they formed the Bitter Frost. They've got as much to fight for as our kind, and nothing left to lose. We couldn't ask for a better ally.
Can we trust Sidon?
Sidon and I used to be best of friends. Sure, it's been a decade or two, but for Faye, that's barely a blink of the eye. I'd trust him with my life.
That's not saying a lot, since he shouldn't be alive right now anyway.
Good luck with Sidon.
There are worse allies to have off into the swamps, I assume?
House of Sorrows.
Believe it or not, the House of Sorrows is the most welcoming of the Unseelie houses. Then again, a viper nest is friendlier than the houses of Pride and Vengeance.
Sidon.
I've heard tales of his work, half trickster, half spirit of vengeance.
Bitter Frost.
Sidon's band of merciless fae with lifetimes of training and everything to fight for? Yes, I think they'll be quite useful allies indeed.
Alright, can we trust Sidon?
You can't trust half of the people you know. But you don't need to trust someone to have a mutual goal. Good hunting.
Alright, sounds good to me. We've got a plan. We'll see it through. Probably. Alright, so this is Cursewood. Oh wow, got 2 attacks off. I think that was the standard. Oh, so it did Tuatha. I assume, well, yeah, because they were wearing Prismere. How big is this place? What is this area? Shattered Tier Mine. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there for a second. All right, let's take out these rats. Actually, looking at Nelson Shear, the coloration and stuff of it kind of gives me a Minas Morgul vibe from Lord of the Rings, the Nazgul Keep. Fervor, massive for a one-hander, but superbly balanced and razor sharp. Fervor favors a fencer skilled with both point and edge. Well, we'll take a look at that. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I wish I could zoom in on it just a smidge. I'm trying to see what that design is on it. This is not super important. Alright, let's go grab this lore stone.
It was a time of change. The cycles of the seasons turned as ever, but inside the bones of the earth, there lurked a cold. It was not the cold of winter. Beside the houses of sorrows, pride and vengeance, a new turmoil fomented. A magic hitherto unseen.
There's more rats. Loot the grave. Skull and bones. Ever make my way back to the, is it Whitestone? I'm gonna get paid very well for all the rats I've killed. Also, that one rat had eaten an entire Prismere Cuirass. Blood-soaked journal. Most of this journal is too soaked with blood to be readable. The journal of Jalnar Rygan. I assume that's Talera. Talera herself has arrived with someone. They say she bears a weapon capable of defeating the demon. I do not know, but I hope it is true. 6 years of fighting. I do not remember when they stopped paying me, but I stay. Something about these Alfar. They do not speak our language or listen to the sea and storm, but they have a sort of honor. And it's Tuatha. These dogs deserve to die. They are monstrous, like nothing nature ever blessed. I fight now because I have seen what they do, and know in my heart it must not be good. Tomorrow it will be over one way or another. If I survive, I'll go home to the Icebrine and see my brother. Alright, so this is for Adrian. We'll just get back to Nelson Shear and turn this in real fast. So we didn't make it very far into the Cursed Wood. Because people want to keep talking to me. I'm a popular guy.
A journal? Let me see. This book looks like it might belong to the man who saved my life. He speaks of a brother in a place called the Icebrine Coast. Perhaps when the war is over, I will travel there and tell this man how his brother died. Thank you, champion. This book has brought me some small measure of peace.
All right. While I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and get rid of all the junk in our inventory.
There are worse allies to have in the winter.
Alright, let's head up to the southeast, I guess. I'm gonna try and finish mapping this area. This episode, so we start dungeon delving in the next one. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, 'cause this is already the exit to Cursewood. It's not very big. This takes us to Drowned Forest. So I'll just go into this little path a little ways, make sure that we know where it's at, and circle back. Is that a shadow or is that water? I think it's a shadow. It's acting a little weird. Where the bog thresh didn't drop anything. They usually drop something. Cessblade. Carried by Fey beaters in the Wild Hunt, such potent enchantments are usually reserved for Fey kings, queens, and archsages. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, that does not look fun to use at all. I mean, I guess it's kind of a neat design. It's almost... reminds me, was it Dawnbreaker from World of Warcraft? That big bead right above the hilt. Alright, so this is going to give us a quest. I'm sure to go inside here. This is one of the scouts, right? Alright, we'll deal with that another time. I'm not going to talk to him this time. I'm trying to finish mapping out Cursewood.
Winter is strong in this place. When first the Fae walked into its depths, it bore great fossils, bones of beasts greater and more terrifying than we Fae. But for all their strength, the earth at their feet lasted longer. It sapped their strength, their life, their flesh. A group of Winter Fae, called the House of Sorrows, have built their lives around the Midden. They feed and tend the bodies there, and sanctify the ground with what dead they bring. It is they who preserve the culture of our people, and make this the cradle of winter. For their part, they have been given a beacon, a small sapling of white bark and red leaves, growing from the bodies in the Midden. They call it the Hallowed Tree.
Without a bunch of boggarts to support these guys, they are not very threatening. So then when they have a bunch of boggart zealots running around that keep knocking you down and knocking you away and staggering you, so you can't keep them staggered, so they can keep rooting themselves in the ground and throwing a bunch of purple crap at you. That's when they become a problem. Also, the other scout is all the way over here. Oh, this isn't my first rodeo. Alright, I was in the middle of casting a spell, you jerk. Alright. There we go. Tuatha hand wraps. King Gadflow dresses Tuatha Dion mages uniformly in these sumptuous prismarine-studded enchanted garments. One of 3 scouts found. 7 widow mine. Or there's a quest for this later. I'm sure that there is. Alright, I think that's all of Cursewood mapped. It's not very big. Honestly, none of these areas look very big. So I assume going forward it should be pretty fast-tracked. Now, they did say something about the hollowed tree for the, I guess this one here, right? I wonder if that's supposed to be like this guy over here. Cairnirlim. Which should also be like the guy, the tree, I already forgot his name, that was in Gallows End. So that's 3 of 13, right? Because he said, the tree here mentioned 13. Right, the Council of 13, which was like, I assume the 13 trees. So that would be 3 accounted for. Then I'm going to go ahead and guess that Tirnock is also one of the trees. And is giving Gadflow power. So that'd be 4 of 13 accounted for. Also remember, this entire map is just one small part of the world. This is just the Phalanx. This is not where like the Almain or the Varani are from. The gnomes are from a different area as well. This is just a small portion of the entire Kingdoms of Amalur world. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna call the episode here. The next one we'll pursue probably this quest is probably gonna take us into Shattered Tear Mine. And yeah, probably hopefully get a quest for this. If not, we'll probably just delve on into it ourselves and see what's in there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode.